All right, today we are tackling something that sounds, a little dry, senior property tax exemptions in Georgia. But trust me, this is a really big deal. For anyone thinking about retirement here, this isn't just about filling out some forms. We're talking about a decision that could literally be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So let's just cut right to the chase with the big question. Could your zip code, where you choose to live, actually save you over 35 grand in retirement? I know it sounds a little over the top, but what we're about to unpack shows that in Georgia, yeah, it absolutely can. And look, we're not talking about some made-up hypothetical number here. Over just 10 years of retirement, making the right move based on your situation can slash your property tax bill by $35,000. That's real money, specifically from school taxes. So how do you get your hands on that? Well, it all comes down to knowing the rules of the game. So how do we solve this thing? It might seem complicated, but really, this whole $35,000 question, it boils down to just three key things. Three variables that will decide if you save a small fortune or if you miss out completely. Okay, so here they are. First, we have your household income, right as you hit age 65. Second, and this is so important, your exact location. I mean, we're talking down to the county line, even the city line. And third, it's about your patience. Are you willing to wait a few more years until you're 70 for some of the biggest perks? You nail these three and you are golden. So let's start with the one that trips almost everyone up. It's the most important and honestly the most misunderstood piece of this whole puzzle, your income. And it all centers on this one specific rule in Gwinnett County that just changes everything. This right here is the pivot point for this entire decision. It's called the L5A Senior School Exemption in Gwinnett County. And what it does is it completely wipes out 100% of your school taxes if your household net income is below this very specific kind of random number, $124,648. But if you're over that limit by even a single dollar, poof, the whole benefit is gone. Okay, but here's the twist. This is where it gets really, really interesting. You see that number, and you probably think, well, my income is way more than that, so I'm out. But hold on, because the way Georgia calculates your income for this, it's probably not at all what you think. Check this out. This is the secret sauce right here. The state does not look at your total income. Here's what they do. First, they take your total income, and they subtract all of your Social Security benefits. Gone. That's a huge chunk right there. Then, for anyone 65 or older, they subtract another $65,000 per person in retirement income. So for a married couple, that's a whopping $130,000 deduction. And that's on top of the Social Security deduction. This is absolutely huge. And here's what that looks like in the real world. Let's imagine a couple, their household income is a healthy $180,000. They'd look at that limit and just assume, no way, we don't qualify. But after you subtract their Social Security and then subtract their $130,000 retirement exclusion, their Georgia net income could actually be close to zero. Boom, they qualify easily. And this right here is the single biggest mistake people make. They disqualify themselves before they even run the numbers. Okay, so you've done the math, you've used Georgia's special formula, but what if your income still puts you over that Gwinnett County limit? Don't worry, you are not out of luck. This is where your location strategy becomes absolutely critical, because you have some fantastic alternatives. And this table really lays out your main choices perfectly. So look at that first row. If your income fits under Gwinnett's cap, staying put at 65 is a no-brainer. But if it doesn't, just look down one row to Forsyth County. You get the same awesome exemption at age 65, but with absolutely no income cap. None. Or you could go with the third option, Hall County. They also have no income cap, but they just make you wait till you're 70. This choice right here is what defines your entire strategy. And if you're a numbers person, this chart makes it crystal clear. Let's say you have a $500,000 home. Look at that first bar. If you qualify in Gwinnett or you just move to Forsyth, you're looking at about $35,000 in school tax savings over 10 years. That's huge. The Be Patient strategy in Hall County gets you the second bar, about half that. But now, look at that last bar. Staying in Gwinnett when you don't qualify means you get $0 in school tax savings. The difference is just wow. Now, before you start calling the moving trucks, you have to know that cracking the income code is only half the battle. There are some really critical location traps and common myths that you need to watch out for. Seriously, getting one of these wrong could completely blow up your whole retirement tax plan. Okay, let's start with a real geographic maze, the City of Buford. You might see Buford on a mailing address and think you know where you are, but you probably don't. That address could put you in Gwinnett County, Hall County, or the actual City of Buford, and each one has completely different tax rules. The difference between one side of the street and the other can mean thousands of dollars every year. You have to verify your exact jurisdiction. And here's another trap that catches so many people by surprise. Let's talk about Cherokee County. They have a 5-year residency rule. What that means is you have to move there and establish residency before you turn 60 to get the good senior exemptions when you turn 65. So if you're 62 and you're thinking, hey, Cherokee County looks nice. Well, I hate to tell you, but for this specific exemption, you've already missed the boat. And please, let's bust this huge myth right now. Those 55 and over communities, they do not, I repeat, do not get any special property tax breaks. The exemptions are tied to you, the person, your age, your income. It has nothing to do with the type of neighborhood you live in. People will often pay a premium for a house in one of those communities, thinking they're buying some kind of tax advantage, but they're not. They're just paying for the pickleball court. Whew, okay. That was a lot of information, I know. So let's pull it all together. We're going to distill everything we've just learned into a super simple 3-step plan that you can use to make the absolute best choice for your wallet. All right, here it is, your personal action plan. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, figure out your Georgia net income. Remember that special formula, your total income minus all your Social Security, minus those big retirement exclusions. Step 2, take that number and compare it to the Gwinnett County magic number, $124,648. And then, step 3, choose your path. If you're under that limit, Gwinnett County is a fantastic option. If you're over it, it's time to start looking seriously at Forsyth or Hall County. It's that simple. And one last thing, this is absolutely critical. No matter which county you choose, no matter how perfect your plan is, the application deadline to claim any of these exemptions is April 1st. It is a hard, non-negotiable deadline. If you miss it, you have to wait an entire year, which means you've just thrown away thousands of dollars. So, what seems like a simple question, where should I live in retirement, is actually one of the biggest financial decisions you'll make. But now you have the map. You understand the rules of the road, the traps to avoid, and the paths to savings. The only question left is, where's your retirement journey going to take you?